King Charles at odds with his siblings again following inheritance disputes. Their late mother's riches haven't been shared. When the Queen died, it seemed her children were, despite a few rough patches in their relationships over the years, united in their grief. The new king allowed Prince Andrew, despite being in disgrace for his past indiscretions, to be front and center for the funeral proceedings, and Princess Anne and Prince Edward provided the stoicism the family's subjects have long admired. But now, 6 months after Her Majesty's passing and with just weeks to go before the king's coronation, the Queen's kids have found themselves at odds once again. Reports out of the UK suggest there is growing frustration between Anne, Andrew and Edward over Charles' refusal to divvy up Her Majesty's $1.1 billion fortune. The money was passed from monarch to monarch for no other reason than it's a loophole to avoid paying inheritance taxes, which don't apply to sovereigns, says a source. But it is done with the understanding that the 74-year-old king would distribute his mother's riches among his siblings. And so far, they haven't seen a cent. According to the Mail on Sunday, Andrew, 63, is in despair over Charles' apparent refusal to share their mother's eye-watering wealth. Adding insult to injury, the king recently stripped Andrew of royal security, turfed him out of his Buckingham Palace offices, instructed him to swap his 30-room royal lodge at Windsor for the comparatively dinky Frogmore cottage and even refused to foot the bill for his $52,000 a year Indian healing guru, who teaches him yoga. Andrew is by far the worst off out of all of this, says a source. At least his other siblings aren't in danger of losing their homes. Andrew has been getting in Princess Anne and Prince Edward's ear though and is basically pushing for an uprising, or at the very least, a strong confrontation about the money they feel they are entitled to. Royal troublemaker. In his role as agitator, Andrew is believed to be reminding Anne, 72, how hard she works on behalf of her big brother, and telling Edward, 59, that the king only recently conferred him with the title of Duke of Edinburgh, something the Queen openly approved him inheriting upon his father's death when he married Sophie, the now Duchess of Edinburgh, in 1999. Andrew is pulling out all the stops, says a source. He's also getting in Edward's ear over how Charles has made sure the Edinburgh dukedom can't be passed on to either of his kids, effectively leaving his daughter, Lady Louise, out in the cold. Andrew is on the warpath right now and wants everyone to know that the king is blatantly working against their beloved mother's wishes. If the Duke can't convince Anne and Edward to battle it out with Charles, he has another plan up his sleeve. Insiders say recent rumors that Andrew is looking to give a tell-all on U.S. television, similar to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's Oprah interview, is a warning shot at the king. Andrew's ex-wife and close friend Sarah Ferguson is also making noises about writing her memoirs, with insiders predicting it won't be pretty for Charles. Charles plainly wants Andrew out of his sight, but Andrew isn't going quietly, says our source. Andrew could prove a very painful thorn in the king's side if he doesn't get what he wants, which is money, prestige and to keep the royal lodge in his name.